Yo, party people, what's good? It's Uncle Freeze in the building, diehard Mets fan. Good to see y'all, man. Glad y'all here to rock, man. I'm sorry I'm off to a slow start. Apologize about that, but there are a lot of things to discuss, a lot of things to talk about, man. I kind of miss y'all. Um, man, where do we begin? Right? So where do we begin? Do we start with this? The rotation shakeup. Do we start with that? Do we start with Freddie Peralta, um, David Peterson? Man, the basically where I am is the rotation is so deep that guys like Sean Manaea and Tobias, Christian Scott, Jonathan basically never stood. Tobias Myers, never really stood a chance to make the 5-man rotation. Basically, they never really had a realistic shot of cracking this super deep Mets rotation. Right? Here's the thing, right? While I don't agree that David Peterson is the second best pitcher on the Mets roster, starting pitcher, I do understand the strategy. David Peterson is not the second best starting pitcher on the Mets roster. Clearly, David Peterson is probably the fourth best starting pitcher. And depending on how you view Clayton Holmes, the fifth best starter in the Mets rotation, right? But as you put a rotation together, you have to be in the mindset and understand that you put a rotation together based on most of the time you're going to play a 3-game series, right? So most times you're going to play a 3-game series. And so, hey, salute to everybody in the chat. Man, I'm glad y'all here rocking with us. You have David Peterson penciled in as number 2 because you like your best pitcher or most proven pitcher. I won't say best. Your most proven pitcher and Freddie Peralta as your ace to start a series, right? Then you throw in a lefty, David Peterson. Say it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Friday night, you have Freddie Peralta. Saturday afternoon, you have David Peterson. And then in your rubber match, the game that might decide the series, you have Noah McLean, right? So you bookend David Peterson. Now, with that, it sounds like, hey, man, why don't you just throw 3 righties? No, if you have a lefty in your rotation, you want to throw your lefty in a big series, right? Say if we started the season with the Dodgers, you want that David Peterson versus Shohei Ohtani matchup. You want that David Peterson versus Freddie Freeman matchup, right? You want that, right? You want the left-hand batter to face left-handed pitching, right? In that series, they may only get 12 at-bats. And so you want to at least have a third of those be against lefties and not righty dominant. So, while I do understand that David Peterson is the best left-handed option that we have, I don't think he's the third top 3 pitcher on the roster. Starting pitcher, by the way, I'm sorry. But at the same time, I do understand you want to mix up the other team's starting lineups as well. And salute to everybody in the chat, by the way. When I saw it, I was like, David Peterson, he didn't look that impressive in spring training. Well, he looked impressive enough, right? He looked impressive enough. So he looked good. I don't think he looked fantastic, but he looked good enough. He looked dependable. And dependable is basically what we need. Joe, what's good, man? Armand, salute, man. It's good to see you guys. Thank y'all for coming through, listening to me spew Mets nonsense all over the internet. I appreciate y'all being here. Okay, thank you. What is this, candy? Oh, okay. Tastes like candy. Got a bulky knee I'm trying to work through, y'all. But yeah. So I do understand the logic of having a big innings eating lefty in your top three in order to mix up the opposing team's starting lineup. And yeah. Armand says it's all good. At least we are days away from opening day. I can't wait, man. I can't. To be honest with you, I can't wait. I can't wait. But on the David Peterson thing, honestly, right. Joe, you are so. Yeah, major leagues, baby. Major leagues, right? Major leagues, right? Yeah, I do understand it. And then plus the couple of other things too, with Kodai Senga coming back from injury and Clayton Holmes in his second year of this thing that we're trying to work on. You put your dependable guy, in a spot where you can kind of trust him. Now, for those that don't know about the future of, let me pull up the thing so let me pull up fan graphs. Y'all bear with me for a moment. I'm just going to pull up fan graphs. Where's my fan graphs at? There we are. Select a team. I'm going to select the Mets. We want to put this here. All right, let's do this. All right. So with David Peterson, basically where you are is this. You're not going to really expect David Peterson to win the Cy Young, but what you would really expect from David Peterson is be consistent, allow your team to stay in games, right? Allow your team to stay in game. If you go 5 2/3, give up 3 earned runs, and a lineup with Soto, Lindor, Bichette, Alvarado, Polanco, they should be able to generate more than 3 runs, if that makes sense. So if you're Peterson, you give up 2 to 3 runs over 5 2/3, get to your bullpen. Maybe the bullpen gives up a run, maybe 2 runs. A lineup with Lindor, Bichette, Polanco, Soto, and all these guys, you should be able to outscore the opposing team. That's what I'm thinking the Mets are looking at doing. Clearly, It's not defense, right? Defense is not going to be our thing, in my belief, right? You'll have great defense in center field, decent defense in right field, great defense up the middle, second and shortstop, pretty good defense behind the plate. But on your corners, defense is going to be. We'll wait and see. How about we'll wait and see about defense, right? In terms of the pitching, though. And in terms of the pitching, can we really? Is it safe to say we knew Jonathan wasn't going to be on the opening day roster? Is it safe to say that we knew by the way Sean Manaea looked that he wasn't going to be in the rotation? Are we comfortable with knowing that Tobias Myers was not going to be a starter? We kind of knew these things. Like we knew Christian Scott, who was a reliever in college, that has a propensity to give up the long ball. Christian Scott is the guy that's going to be dominant, that makes mistakes. Christian Scott is razor's edge. Like, Christian Scott is not going to be that guy that's going to play himself into a jam and work out of jams every game. He's going to be the guy that walks someone and then the next batter is going to hit a 2-run homer. That's how teams are going to score on Christian Scott. Right? That's who he's been so far. That's who he is right now. He's still a young pitcher, not in terms of age, but in terms of wear and tear on his arm. So when Christian Scott went down, I had no issue with Christian Scott going down. He's still got to find some stuff. He's got to learn how to not give up the long ball. So when you look at the 5 guys in the Mets rotation, having 4 veterans and a young guy is probably ideal. And with that, you basically have 2 big game pitchers, right? You have Freddie Peralta, who's the ace. He deserves it, right? And you have Noah McLean, who's the bookend to close out a series. Say you say Pittsburgh wins game 1 and we win game 2. You want to have a stopper in game 3 in order to salvage the series. It's the perfect setup, perfect scenario. Yep. Armand, that's where we are with it. Christian Scott is that guy. He'll go 4 to 5 innings with 6 to 9 strikeouts and give up 1 or 2 runs, or go 3 innings with 6 walks and give up 4 more runs. And the sad thing is, those runs will generally come off of long balls. Right? They'll come off long balls. And it's not, I'm the biggest Christian Scott fan probably in Mets universe. I love Christian Scott. I remember when he was the Mets' top prospect. Right? Oh, I heard something going on outside, everybody. I'm sorry about being distracted. Fireworks. Yeah. He can be wild, but that's the part that leads to home runs, right? Because that 96 middle is not a strikeout pitch. That's batting cage, that's batting cage home run swing pitch. Like 96 middle now is not like 96 middle in 1985. It's not the same. Right? It's not the same. But also about the rotation, just want to say a thing about Sean Manaea. So Sean Manaea's ability to locate pitches in spring training, to me, was very good. But bro, you're not gonna get a major league lineup out throwing 91. When you're topping out at 91, when you're somewhere between 88 and 91, and now you're talking about high school guys can sit on your fastball. Right? Now you're talking about high school guys can sit on your fastball, and it's not ideal. Especially for a major leaguer coming back from injury. Even though his craftiness is there, you don't want a lineup to see Manaea twice. In my mind, I think it's the Clayton Holmes and Sean Manaea are going to be a thing. I think you'll see Clayton Holmes go 4 2/3, maybe 5. You'll see Sean Manaea come in and go 2 1/3, and then get it to your relief, get it to your real bullpen, your real relievers. And so the word on the street is that Sean Manaea is upset about not being in the rotation. And my feelings on that is I'm glad. I'm super excited about that, right? Not that he doesn't get to do what he loves, but if you're frustrated by being demoted, so to speak, does that serve as a motivator to Sean Manaea somehow? If that's a motivator for Sean Manaea in order to somehow find the old version of Sean Manaea, then that's great news for everyone, right? Because if Sean Manaea gets back to 2023 Sean Manaea, right, 2024 Sean Manaea before he ran out of gas, then now the Mets have a plethora of veteran arms that, it's perfect, right? That's the perfect situation because we know injuries to starting rotations happen and guys are going to miss starts. And Sean Manaea will be that guy to get those starts, right? At the same time, though, if Sean Manaea turns this into sour grapes, or if Sean Manaea is a lemon drop, then you got to trade him for something. If Sean Manaea turns this into lemon drops, or if he's sour grapes, now you probably have to move that contract for something. Now, I'm not a huge fan, personally, I'm not a huge fan of talking trade scenarios this early. Right? This early in the season, I'm not a huge fan of trade scenarios because I feel like you have to see what Ronnie Mauricio can do in AAA. You have to see what Jonah Tong can do in AAA. You have to see what your veteran arms that didn't make the roster do. Like all the veteran arms we brought in, in spring training. We have to see what they look like in AAA before you make a move, right? I'm not for making moves straight away unless it's something, unless it's a move, unless it's a move like no one can turn down. Yeah. And Armand, I'm with you because this is conventional thinking, right? This is conventional thinking, right? But in my mind, I'm thinking a team a team in the toilet that gets off to a hot start that think they can do something will trade something for Sean Manaea. Say if you're the Minnesota Twins, you're trying to rebuild, right? You're trying to rebuild this thing, and all of a sudden, come June 1st, you're in first place. Not by a wide margin, or say you're battling Detroit, right? Say you're basically what I'm getting at is a Sean Manaea trade could be very scenario specific, right? And we don't know what those scenarios are because the season hadn't begun to play out, but I would keep options open, right? I'd keep options open. Say if the Washington Nationals get off to a hot start and all of a sudden they feel, well, the Nationals are a bad example. Say the San Francisco Giants get off to a hot start, right? To say they're in second place in front of the Padres, right? And they just need a guy. Then I would say that. But at the same time, all that stuff I'm saying is really scenario specific. Like we don't know what the perfect scenario is, but conventional thinking has us in a safe place, right? Like basically nobody's going to touch that Manaea contract unless someone needs a Sean Manaea contract. So David Smith is in the building. Salute my guy. Hey y'all, hey, I gotta say something to David Smith real quick. Y'all just pretend like I'm like y'all not here for a second. Hey, David Smith, I know you check a lot of Knicks content out, bro. I hadn't been able to do it. My job gave me another sales account, so I'm not able to rock like I've been wanting to, right? But how do you like that defense? Knicks defense since January 2nd, baby. Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns is playing center for the best defense in the NBA since January 2nd. I'm just saying. I'm saying anything is possible. Yeah. So, but back to the Mets pitching though. I did want to talk a little bit about the bullpen, but at the same time, I think I think the starting pitching is probably in the best place it's been since the 90s. Right? So I think if everyone is full potential, I think this is probably the best Mets pitching rotation since Pedro was here. Since the Glavine Mets years. I can't remember what years those were, but the Glavine Mets years, we had great starting pitching. And it may not have been ranked really high, but it seemed like that. It seemed like we had a chance every game when Glavin was here. And so David Smith says, has David Stearns done enough? I'm gonna say this to that. Hey, how about this? Give me a few seconds to finish up this point about the starting pitching, and then I'll address that. Oh, you want to put? Okay, all right. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. That's good. Thank you. Man, the support staff around here is amazing, y'all. I'm joking. That was Miss Smoker, man. She like helped me get through all this stuff, man. So thank you, Miss Smoker. All right. So, David Smith, I'll answer your question. So here's the answer to your question, right? I think the answer to your question is easy in that the roster was the best roster in baseball last year into June 2025. And what happened to that roster over time was there wound up being chinks in the armor, and it didn't seem like it was baseball ability. It seemed like clubhouse chemistry destroyed the Mets, because the Mets were the best team in baseball to a certain date. And then after that date, they were as mid could be. Right? They were as mid can be. And what I think is the Mets know that and recognize that. Right? I think they know that and recognize that. I'm gonna get to this too, because one of the smart a guy named Andrew College from Knicks Film School said something, and I don't know how to get in contact with him to tell him what he said was smart, but what he said was one of the smartest things that I've ever heard a content creator say. Right? Because he was spot on and accurate. Spot on and accurate, and the fact that he recognized it was amazing to me. Right? Basically, what he said was this: the starting pitching was not the issue. The relief pitching was not the issue. The issue was terrible defense. And you're in games with terrible defense, and what that does is not only does runs score on not only do runs score on terrible defense, but you also give the opposing team more opportunities to score more runs. Right? Say, for instance, a runner on second, 2 outs, and the third baseman throws a ball over the first baseman's head. The ball goes up the line, right? The runner on second scores. The runner that hit the ball to third base is now on second. And now guess what happens? You've given up a run, and now the next batter has an opportunity to drive in another run. Right? Those type things. Like 2 outs, runner on second, you get a slow grounder to third, the ball is thrown over Pete Alonso's head or through Pete Alonso at first, and the ball goes up the right field line. The runner on second scores. The runner that hit the ball is now at second base, and then now not only did you give up a run with 2 outs, the opposing team has another opportunity to score another run because a runner is in scoring position just off bad defense. Right? And when you're trying to break in young pitching, Jonah Tong, guys trying to have a bounce back, when you're doing that, it shakes their confidence. Just think about the game in Cincinnati where Jonah Tong is cruising and all of a sudden he's in a jam, right? We call him up because the bullpen is tired. You know what I'm saying? You call him up or I don't know if he was called. I don't know if he was on. He may have been on the roster already, but he's in Cincinnati and a ball that's hitting the gap, our outfield doesn't get to it, right? A ball that should have been caught, right? Winds up rolling all the way to the wall. And now your young prospect pitcher is on the pitching mound shaking now because they're laying off of his best pitch and they're sitting on the get over pitch. Jonah Tong has to throw fastballs, right? He has to throw fastballs to a Major League Baseball team in order to get out of the inning, and they're sitting on his fastball. All because Soto gets a bad jump on a ball in the gap, right? Ball goes to the wall. Now the rookie that should have been, now the young player at the plate that should have been dominated is in this rookie, not rookie. Well, I guess he was a rookie, but now in this young player versus young player matchup, now their young player has confidence against our young pitcher and then gets a hit over second base. Another run scores, right? Then our young guy throws a ball in the dirt. This guy advances to third. Carlos Mendoza is on the rail now, like, oh my God, do I go get him to save his confidence and maybe ruin our season because our bullpen was taxed coming into this game? Or do I let him figure his way out of this? And so when you compromise, when you're on both sides of the street at the same time, usually you get hit by the car. Like, make your decision and live with it, right? We didn't make what we should have done is snatched him out of the game immediately as soon as he was in trouble because he's a young pitcher, and you can ruin young pitchers by constantly having them. You can ruin their confidence, basically. Right. And so when we look back at some of these moments, we'll say, man, the pitching was bad. The pitching, the bullpen was this. Man, anytime you tax a Major League Baseball, a Major League team's bullpen, once they get taxed, bro, you're going to be in that mode for a long time. The only thing that can get you back on track is your ace throws 8 1/3, or you get a blowout game where guys can oh, that's Jay right here. Let me see. Hold on. All right, so when it comes to like the starting pitchers, we have starting pitchers nowadays. They generally go, if your starting pitcher goes 6 solid innings, 6 innings, 1 run, maybe 6 or 7 strikeouts, maybe 92 pitches. That's a great start. That's a great start, right? So that means your bullpen, opposite that, the complementary piece to that is is if your starting pitcher is going 6, that means your bullpen has to go 9 at home, or 8 at home, or 9. 3 at home, or I forget, whatever it is, 2 at home or 3 on the road. If you have the lead. If you have the lead at home, your bullpen has to go 2 innings, right? Because you don't have to pitch the bottom of the thing if you're winning. So my thing is I believe it was a chemistry issue. I don't know if, judging by the way guys were jettisoned out of here, my belief is that chemistry was everything. Chemistry was everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, the way they didn't offer anything to Pete was gone. The way they got Nimmo out of here that fast made me think that it was time for Nimmo to go. And not that he's a bad person or a bad player. It was just his time. I thought Brendan Nimmo felt like he may have been on that path to be down that David Wright road, where if there is a captain named, then it should have been Brandon Nimmo. He was here the longest. He hustles down the line. He played through injury. He made the All-Star team once. He embodied everything that you want in a Mets player. And so it was one of those things where, I was gonna get to some of this. So, but the thing about it is this. The thing about it is this. They knew it. They probably knew around August. They probably knew around August that this thing, whatever it is that they had, it wasn't sustainable. It took too much energy for this team to just play decent baseball. Right? It just took too many things had to go right in order for the Mets to be competitive. And I felt like by August last year, like the way that they went out on game 162, where you don't even score a run against the Florida Marlins, made me think these dudes didn't want to play with each other no more. Where you could have made the playoffs and you didn't. You can't even score. Dudes are not. I just felt like this team probably. I think Nimmo, McNeil, Pete. I think it was just one of those things where sometimes instead of becoming toxic, it's just best to irreconcilable differences. If that makes sense. If that makes sense. If you understand what I'm saying. Instead of blasting Brandon Nimmo in the media, or blasting Pete Alonso in the media, trying to get him out of here, instead of things becoming sour, just let him go. Just trade him. It's sports. It's rare that a guy will play his entire career in one place anymore. Right. It's one of those things. Right. In terms of if this team is a contender, yes. Is this team good enough to win the World Series? Yes. Is this team good enough to be dominant in the playoffs? Yes. Is this team good enough to have favorable matchups in the World Series? Yes. Right? Here is where I think because if you're asking that on a so David Smith, if you're asking that from where's your question? All right, so if you're asking this from a roster construction standpoint, then yes to all that stuff that I just said. Is this team good enough to win 100 games in a regular season? Yes. Is this team good enough to win the division? Yes. Is this team good enough to be dominant in the National League playoffs? Yes. Is this team good enough to beat the Toronto Blue Jays in a 7-game series right now? Yes. Here is where the rubber meets the road, though, in your question for me. Right? Here's where the rubber meets the road. Does Carlos Mendoza have the capability to manage egos for 180 games? 200 games if you count spring training. Does Carlos Mendoza have the personality to manage superstar egos for 200 games? Spring training through the World Series. In my mind, no. In my mind, the failing of the Mets is not having a Ron Washington type veteran coach on your bench. Because depending on analytics is one thing. I like analytics, right? But analytics is the accumulation of true data that you project into unpredictable circumstances. You try to make circumstances as predictable as possible using data, historical data. That's what analytics is. You use things that have happened to predict the future or make the future as predictable as possible. I have no doubt the Mets are great at that. Right? Where I don't know if Carlos Mendoza is the guy is Francisco Lindor is a first ballot Hall of Famer in my mind. Right? Right. In my mind, Francisco Lindor is the greatest shortstop the Mets have ever had. And I'm counting Bud Harrelson too. Like I saw him a little bit when I was a kid. Right. I remember Bud Harrelson and Felix Million. I remember them. Not like I don't remember them like I remember David Wright, Jose Reyes, or Ray Knight, Rafael Santana, Wally Backman, and Keith Hernandez. Like I don't remember them like that. It's, you're born when you're born. Right? Can't help it. But when you have a Francisco Lindor, a switch hitting, formerly defensive wizard at shortstop, he's not that guy anymore. He's still a very good defensive shortstop, right? Still a very good defensive shortstop, right? But a guy that can switch hit, right? Play you very good up the middle defense, hit for power, right? Right. Yeah, I know. Right. No, I got you. Lindor is the accumulation of everything that you want in a everyday shortstop. For one, he plays every day. Right? Two, he's a very good, formerly great defensive shortstop. right? He's a run producer, plays every day, clubhouse guy, right? Face of the franchise type guy, rises to the big moments. Like he's all of that stuff, right? He's all of that stuff, right? He's all of that stuff. But what happens when he struggles a little bit? What can Carlos Mendoza tell him? Hey, man, Frankie, man, when I used to play shortstop, such a no, no, no. You don't have guys in the organization day to day like we don't have a Carlos Beltran on the bench. Like we don't have a Carlos Beltran daily vicinity of the game to be like, hey, man, he's letting that ball leak outside over the corner because he don't want to throw you that fast ball middle in, because if he misses middle, it's a souvenir. Right? Like legit, the Mets don't have a Don Zimmer on their bench. The Mets don't have a Joe Torre on the bench. They don't have a Dave Roberts on the bench. They have Carlos Mendoza and some other guys who are good technically, but are they able to? Because a guy like Lindor knows all the technical stuff. You can't teach him technical stuff. He knows it. He's been in the league too long. Our guy is 30 plus. You're not going to teach him something new about baseball. Right? But the psychology of the game is what you could talk to him about to keep him sharp. The same thing with Soto. Like, what can some of the coaches on the bench tell Juan Soto? Right? But if you're Ron Washington, Don Zimmer, Don Mattingly, Willie Randolph, like if you're that type of guy, and I'm not saying just a former Major League Baseball player, I'm saying a guy with some cachet. Like outside of Carlos Mendoza, who's the second? What other coach has major cachet in the baseball world? What coach on the Mets staff has a cachet of being a guy that can help Mendoza when Mendoza doesn't have the answer? If for those that watched the Yankees in their dynasty, the Yankees had as many veteran coaches as they had veteran players on their, or it seemed that way anyway. It seemed that way. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. It seemed like the Yankees had a brain trust at coach. And if I ask you, the diehard Mets fan, does the Mets have a brain trust, a veteran brain trust? When things get rough, what do? I'm not sure. And again, I'm not being nitpicky, right? I'm not saying that the Mets don't have smart guys in the dugout, right? I hope they do. I'm a Mets fan. I'm a Mets fan, right? Of course I want the Mets to have a brain trust on the bench. Yo, my guy, international recording artist, Jay the Chosen One is in the building. Salute.
Salute, my guy. How we doing?
Man, I'm over here going off, bro. Wow,
you really been going off.
Yeah. You ever had pent up frustration, bro?
Yes. Yes. I'm going through it right now.
David Smith threw a live grenade in the room. Asked me if the Mets are contenders. Of course, the Mets are contenders, but will the coaching staff can this coaching staff take advantage of the talent that they have? Right.
That's a very good question. So that's a question I think about a lot. Actually, I'm a little nervous as the coaching staff, especially with the deduction of a first base coach that did magic.
Antoine Richardson.
Yes. That is probably we went through a lot of losses. We lost. Everybody knows that we lost. And we can't look back. I don't look back. Actually, I haven't even really thought about it. The players go.
Right.
But I think about this first base coach not being in Queens with all the runners we have now.
Right.
And that really bothers me quite a bit.
That's the thing. So the thing I'm getting at is do the Mets have enough Major League Baseball talent to be dominant in the regular season, be dominant in the playoffs, and be super competitive and be have matchup in position, not in the position, but matchup in position, basically imposing our will on the opponent. Can we do that to the Blue Jays? And I just use the Blue Jays as an example because they were the team the American League team that was the most recent in the World Series, right?
I think that's a good team to look. Yep.
But do we have the right? Yes. The Mets have so much roster talent that guys that should be in the major leagues right now, like Jonathan, like Ronnie Mauricio, should be on the roster, but there are not enough Major League Baseball roster spots for these guys, right? Like ideally, you would like a guy like Ronnie Mauricio to be your last guy on the bench because you want him to be, you want your young player to travel with the team, get experience, be in the cage, around the cage with Juan Soto every day, be in a clubhouse with Lindor every day. So that his learning could be through trial and error and osmosis at the same time.
Totally agree.
That's part of learning. Some people learn by doing, and some people learn by being adjacent to the person that is doing. And then there are some that value the learning from doing both. Right. But Ronnie Mauricio doesn't have the opportunity to do that because Tauchman came in and showed that he's a Major League Baseball player. So when people ask me, do the Mets have enough talent to be a dominant regular season team, a dominant playoff team, and can you impose your will on the team from the other league, in a 7-game series? I say yes. The thing is, who's pushing the buttons? It's like the Matrix. Like if you've ever seen that Matrix movie series, it's like the Matrix, right? And in the Matrix, the person in charge of the Matrix could have got that movie should have lasted 6 minutes. Right. But we got 3 super long.
The whole series.
Yeah. That movie could have lasted 6 minutes, right? They could have just sent.
Hi, Mr. Smith. Bye, Mr. Smith.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny stuff. Yeah, man.
And no disrespect to Carlos Mendoza because he came over from a great organization, right? They, all that stuff, right? The thing is, do you have your Don Zimmer on the bench? Like, hey, coach, listen, Mindy, listen, right? They're putting this guy here. They're pitch hitting for such and such because if he gets on, they know that this pitcher that we have in the bullpen may come in and he has a propensity to throw wild pitches. So if he gets on, he gets on, say he gets on, and we go to the bullpen for. Give an example, right? Say you sub Mauricio in for Simeon, right? And Mauricio gets a walk. He never does, but say he gets a walk. Now you have to go to your bullpen to get your arm to face Lindor, but anything elevated, Lindor can take you out and flip the game. So now you have to keep everything low in the zone, and this guy has a propensity to throw in wild pitches. And so while that dugout is thinking 6 steps ahead, right? We're thinking, hey, man, I hope Marcus Semien hits a home run right here.
Right.
You feel me?
Exactly, of course.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. I think that we're looking at 2 years of a brand new coach under the belt, right? This is his 3rd year. We're going on his 3rd year as the coach.
Yeah.
And both years, ironically, eerily similar finishes. One makes it, one doesn't make it. One goes deep, and the other one falls flat on his face. But both go, ironically, to the last day on a needing of a win, period.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
So that's the type of coaching we got for the last 2 years.
Right.
Which, in a nutshell, tells you a little bit about, in my eyes, a little bit about where this guy's ceiling is for the season. Now, when we went into the playoffs in 24, we had different people. I believe that he made some decent calls as far as pitching changes, as far as defensive switches, Taylor, and all that type of stuff. But if you can't rise to the occasion, and generally it's every sport, you need a skipper, or like you said, a side skipper with knowledge. Like, I always like Buck. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I like Buck Showalter, right? I like Terry Collins. They were long time baseball minds. Right. This guy was a long time baseball mind, but never had a chance to coach. Then he comes here, and there's not a Buddy Harrelson. There's not a Don Zimmer.
Right.
Next, Davey had Buddy. Joe had Zimmer with him. Remember, Joe Torre stunk as a manager before he went there.
With the Mets and with Pittsburgh. I mean, with St. Louis. He was a player manager here. Remember, he was a player manager, then a full-time
player manager. That's right. Exactly. And he couldn't handle that responsibility. No problem. That's pretty hard. But he goes to a team that just comes out from the playoffs, right? They miss it. Now their first baseman, their hero, retires. And they bring up a new kid, and they got a lot of them new players. But every time they pans the dugout, Joe is asking Don, what should I do? What do you think I should do? Right. Wisely so. So I don't know if our guy I think our guy would do wonderful having a Buck Showalter next to talk to.
Right.
That's all I'm getting at. Or having, because I think Buck got a raw deal. But he also I think he probably maybe was done himself. But still, anybody that is a baseball savant that knows what they're doing, that's done it before. Because when he came over here, he brought the guy I met. I told you at the church. He brought his bullpen coach. He brought some other people with him, but he didn't bring a long time, older mentor type dugout coach, or I forgot what they used to call it. What was Buddy Harrelson? What's the title Buddy Harrelson had?
He was the pitching coach, right?
Was he the pitching
Was
coach?
Buddy Harrelson the pitching coach? No, that's Mel Stoudemire. I'm thinking about
Mel was
Mel
right. He was just the bench coach. The bench coach. I think that's the name of the bench coach.
Right.
And I think that is, I don't know if that's obviously a thing, because if you look into a modern day major league dugout, it's laden with coaches, so it's obviously still a thing. Funny thing is, I can't name ours. Right. So yeah, I think that we're looking at a new team and a coach's final chance. And that I really believe that. I believe that they said to you, all right, look, you couldn't get it done with Diaz as your closer, with Pete, you couldn't get it done. Right now, it's not his fault that Gregory Soto and Cam Hensley and all these guys, bit the bullet.
Right.
But in a way, it reflects on him, because did you bring in the right person? Is it the right time? It's all about timing with baseball. So, I'm definitely. I will tell you this. I will. I think this.
Oh my God, disappeared. He disappeared, y'all. Wait a minute, Jay, where'd you go? Sorry about the typing, everybody. I'm doing a compilation of data. Just wanted to give everybody a number, and this is the number I want to give you is how for a stretch Mendoza looked great, but when the team struggles, he can't fix it. He don't have answers. Go ahead, Jay. I'm compiling something. I'll hit you up in a split second after I put this together.
Okay, no, I'm glad that you said that. Actually, I don't know how, I'm gonna talk to the chat for a minute, to New York, Mets Nation out there. Like, how excited are you that Mendoza is the manager? Period. There were some names out there. Beltran. I'm a silly dude, bro. I want David Wright to coach this team, but we're going to deal with facts. And what the fact is that the man is still here right now.
Right.
And I think that he has, and I don't know what the chat feels like or what Mets fans feel like, but I feel like, and I never like to use the word leash when it comes to people, but
Right.
I think that he has very, very, I'm going to use it. He has a very short time to be very good.
Okay.
Now that way I could skip using. Um, and yeah, I mean, you take this new rotation, which is first of all, as I was supposed to, you know, be here to jump on right there and then, and so I'm not quite sure what you covered with the new rotation, but
I think the way they have it outlined is brilliant. I think David Peterson as your number 2 guy is the best organizational decision they made thus far.
really,
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I'm
You
gonna
want, you want
person.
me to you want me to cut you want me to say just tell you why I think that way?
Of course, I would love to hear why you think that way when I throw chairs and do other things like that afterwards. Ken, I want to hear why. Tell me why.
All right. So the reason why is they don't believe David Peterson is the second best pitcher on the roster. David Peterson overall may be the 7th best pitcher on the roster, right?
Well,
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. He is a very good major league lefty, right? You're throwing
serviceable
your
for
ace
sure.
out. You're throwing your ace out there against other teams' aces. And say for the beginning of the season, we're going to play the Pirates like a 3-game series, right?
Yep, that's what
So
we're
what you
playing.
want, so what you want to do is not throw 3 righties in a row in a series if you can help it. Right? You want to do left, right, left. You want to do, if your ace is a lefty, then you can do left, right, right. But in a 3-game series, say for instance, you're going Paul Skeens versus Freddie Peralta, right? Say
Right,
that's the opening day matchup. That's what it is,
it
right?
is.
Right.
Yep.
So say we win or lose that game 3-2, just for the sake of argument. Win or lose, it don't matter. Win or lose, right? Because you still have 161 more games to play,
Yeah,
right?
no doubt. But we're gonna say win because I'm gonna
Right.
be
We'll
there.
say we'll say win because we're on the side, right?
Right, right.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. The next day you play them, do you go out with another righty on the mound, or do you throw a lefty, right? So their left-hand batters can see lefty pitching. And the example, I probably should have used the Dodgers. And before you got here, I used the Dodgers as the example. Like, say
Okay.
you're going up against the Dodgers, our ace versus their ace in game 1. Say we win 4-3. In game 2, you want your best left-handed starter going lefty versus Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman. You don't want Shohei seeing another right-handed pitcher, even though your pitcher is great. Shit, that's Shohei, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is Freddie Freeman, bro. It's not like this is just an average left-handed bat. These guys have trajectory to be Hall of Fame type players, right? And so,
Oh, they're going. Yeah. Right.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm.
But and that's the thing. So you throw a lefty out there to kind of, you know what I'm saying, get these guys off your righties, and then you throw your next best pitcher out there, which is Noah McLean. You don't want, because it's twofold, right? You kind of take the pressure off Noah McLean from being a second guy. Because think about it. Think about this. If Freddie Peralta slips on a banana peel, are you ready to say a rookie Noah McLean is your ace going into a year where you feel like you should win the World Series? No, you don't. Now, do you have confidence that Noah McLean is a very, very, very good pitcher, damn near great? Yes, but you don't want him to feel that pressure. You want him to be that without the pressure, basically, if
Right.
that makes sense. right? Because we
No,
know that.
totally makes sense. Just
Because
really quick, the order is so we put it out there again for people who may tune in late, or for me, and I already know it. I just wanted to just say is Peralta, Peterson,
right,
right? Then Sanger,
huh?
then who's the third guy?
Noah McLean.
They have Noel McLean as that's right. Right. Noel McLean. Sanger's actually fifth in this
Yeah,
thing, right?
yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay. When the original, what I first heard was going to be, and and boy, are you a decent salesman? Because you, I already caught on to it for a minute now, and I'm starting to like it. But just let me just say, I want to say it out loud, the five people, so I know when you're talking about it, who they are and why you're talking about it. So we're throwing out Peralta against Skeens. Now our second guy is Peterson. A third guy is a young kid who could be a number two right now, in my eyes. But you're not putting I always thought he was going to be a number three in this rotation, no matter what. But I thought the order would be Peralta, Sanger, McLean, Holmes, Peterson. That's what the talent level says,
Okay.
right? Would you agree with me on that at all? That's what the talent level says it should be.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't have a problem. I to be honest with you, I don't have a problem with however because ESPN has the depth chart as Peralta, McLean, Senga, Peterson, Holmes. I saw a
Peralta,
report
McLean.
from the Mets. I heard a insider say that David Peterson is the number two in the rotation. Now, however they do it, I'm fine with it, but I
I
can
heard that too.
understand. I can understand why they would throw a left-hander up early in a series, especially when you want to um, show dominance against other dominant teams, right?
I mean,
Plus,
you're selling me. You're selling me.
yeah, the plus your back end of the rotation guys, your Clayton Holmes, your Kodai Singers.
Yeah.
In
Ooh.
that scenario, you probably get them against the Giants. Like if you're playing the Dodgers, right?
Ooh.
Then you'll get them maybe against the Padres or the Giants, where it's not low leverage, but it's not the Dodgers either. You know what I
Understood.
mean?
Yep.
So yeah.
But you know what? I think that Peterson has been. Has it been Peterson that's been the opening day pitcher for a couple of years now, or was it? It was right. It was Peterson.
Yeah. I think it was
Yeah,
Lugo one time
Lugo
too.
once. No,
Yeah.
right, and was maybe a McGill sighting.
Oh, and Tyler McGill. I keep forgetting about him, man.
Yes, Tom McGill. Okay, so but it's been Peterson for the most part. Okay, look, I think that you just sold me at least as far as like smartness goes. Like, okay, you're not throwing out your best player, but it's almost like having Ewing already ready for this team, and we know Ewing can steal 50 bags, but he's gonna have a lot of pressure on him, right? Well, Sanger, we'll take Sanger. Sanger's gonna hit really well, and maybe Sanger bench, and he's gonna hit really well, right? But instead of you putting him higher in the order, you hit him lower in the order,
Yeah.
but
And
in this case,
let him earn more moments
yeah,
through production.
right, without the pressure of
Right.
being up top.
Right.
Okay, I see that. Then I'm adding Ewing to the team, and by far he should be the leadoff hitter. He's the fastest guy on the entire
On the
team
planet.
on the planet, right?
Right.
He's the
Right.
Usain Bolt of
Right.
the Mets, and he should lead off, but you make him ninth, and that way you will have a super fast dude, and then he gets on steals, and you have your 1, 2, 3 to be up coming up. You know what? Now the way you explain it with Peterson, and by the way, Peterson had an excellent first half last year,
Right.
and kind of fell apart a little bit, but I'm not I'm not completely down on Peterson. I
No.
think he's a very serviceable pitcher.
Right.
You know, it's just odd to me. But I will not front that you made it sound like they told you that's how they were doing it, and that makes sense to me. It makes sense.
Yeah, it's like when we were in school, bro. It's like when we were in school, like they would say if me and Jay were on the same baseball team, right? We would already have an ace. I wasn't our team's ace. I don't know if Jay was his team's ace, right? But what they would do is our ace would start the series, the 3-game stretch, right? And
Yep.
then say Jay would be the second day, or since Jay was a better pitcher than me, right? What they
Yep.
would do is they would probably pitch Jay the second day, or high school and college is different, but in the majors, basically what you want to do is everybody in the majors can hit. Like if you make a mistake, anybody with a major league uniform can take you deep. Anybody, right?
Yep.
Can take you deep. Guys at the major league level, guys are good, right? You're talking about the best of the best. You're talking about the top 1% that play the sport, right?
Yep.
So you don't want to, be in that situation where, you're letting Shohei Ohtani see all your right-handed arms, and you know what I'm saying. And then now you get that man on a heater in game 1, and now you have to deal with him for the rest of the series. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because as great as Freddie Peralta is, he's not as good as Ohtani. Nobody is. Nobody on planet Earth right now is a better player. Maybe, well, no, Ohtani
Nobody.
is.
No. Nobody is.
Nobody,
Nobody.
right?
Not
So
until I see McLean hit. He's not. Yeah.
yeah, McLean's sneaky,
Yeah. Yeah.
sneaky.
Yeah. But I mean, even so, like even with Scooble, and even with this, there's nobody like Otani. Period. But let's take Otani out of the picture. Um.
Talk about your rotation.
Yeah. Right. Let's take him out the picture. As far as like if we're facing the Dodgers, you got Muncy, you got Freeman, you got
Bunch of guys.
a bunch of guys that are now. What's his face went over there, right?
Kyle Tucker.
Yes, they got all lefties over there.
Kyle
That
Tucker's a righty though, right?
no, he's a lefty.
He's
He's a lefty. Okay. Yeah, that
bro.
Yeah, yeah. That's why when I said it's very interesting because if we don't get him, we're gonna get Bellinger. It's like getting either way. We're gonna get lefty, whatever. Damn, their team is filled with lefties.
And that's why you pitch David Peterson in that second slot. so
And
they can
that's
see
why
lefty pitching.
100%, and that's why it hurts that Mania is not good enough to.
Right. And that's why in game 3, because game 3 on, say, Sunday Night Baseball, when you have their third starter against our third starter, we at least stand a fighting chance. Right. Most teams don't have 3 great starters. Most teams have a great starter, a good starter, and then 3 through 5 is they're picking up the pieces. It's Scrabble.
Right.
Right.
Like a really good team, a really good team may have a 1A and then a 2B or a 3, 4, 5. Like a 1A, 3, 4, 5.
Right.
They might or 3, 5, 5.
Right.
You
Right.
you know what I'm saying? That like
Right.
because it costs money to get really good pitching out there,
Or your
and
farm system has to
or your
be
farm has to be right. Exactly, which we
elite.
have, and they're coming, but
Yeah.
we don't have them now.
Right.
I totally agree with you on that. I totally agree with you on that. And for some reason, that's really odd. But you definitely sold me on the reason why they would use a
Right, left,
um
right. I mean, right, left, right strategy.
yeah, yeah.
Because I think we only, how many lefties do we have in the bullpen?
We'll have 3 if once this gets healthy.
What's my guy
Uh,
name? I always forget his name, bro.
TJB. No, the one that's not hasn't pitched since we signed him. Minter.
AJ Minter.
Yeah. By the way, I believe.
Yeah, AJ Minter. That's him.
Yeah, AJ Minter. And hello to the chat out there. I want to say a special hello. I think that's my father using a Pamela. If you don't mind, if you are my father, please say yes.
Hey,
Type
Pops.
in yes if you are my father.
You want me to type it in? I'm too young, bro. I'm too young, bro.
Don't
I'm
let him
not
lie to you.
responsible enough.
Don't let him lie to
I'll let a
you. He's
real
not
man
too
do that,
young.
bro.
He's not too young either, but
I'll let a real man do that, bro. I'm not.
yeah. Well, anyway, listen. Which one is it? If it's both of you, or yes.
Hey, Mr. R.A., what's good?
Hey,
Salute.
hey, pops. Hey,
Yeah,
chat.
man.
It's my
Shout out to Pops,
dad.
man.
Yeah, and maybe my mom. I don't know. I don't know. But now we know that they're both there. Listen, I appreciate you guys coming in and watching what is the best channel for the best show for
For
New
Mets
York
content.
Mets for Mets
Yeah.
content. Yeah, and everybody in the chat, please be welcome and kind if you don't mind. Yeah, so I understand exactly what you're saying, 100%,
Right.
and I think now that you said that, that was their thinking going in,
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
It has to be. Now
Yeah.
I'm also trying to think of what Pittsburgh offers too.
Really?
Yeah, because what is Pittsburgh offering lefty, righty?
I'm not. Yeah, their lineup. I don't think their lineup is not consistently offensive enough to threaten Freddie Peralta. I don't think. Right. And I don't think they're a real threat to anybody that we throw at number 2. Now they'll score runs because all Major League Baseball teams score runs, right? It's just all guys are good, right? But when you're talking about, I think in this scenario, we're talking about David Peterson versus the Phillies, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, left-handed power bats that can change the course of a game with one swing of the bat.
Right.
Is basically what I'm saying. And then you don't want Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper to manipulate your potentially future young ace into a power hitter's count like 2-1, 3-1, like 2-0. You don't want them to, because at 3-0, nobody nowadays is swinging 3-0, right?
Or
you shouldn't.
We shouldn't, right? Or two people on with the full count even is.
You don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to. Because even and because if a guy is wild, like if he's thrown 7 straight balls, the likelihood of him throwing another strike instead of throwing an 8th straight ball.
Yeah,
I got to kind of take my chance. I got to take my chances there. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Shout out to Mom too. I appreciate you too. Thank you. Yeah. And this is my co-host and good friend, Uncle Freezy.
Uncle Freezy.
Yep. Yep. So, well, they're the reason I'm Mets fans. So I figured I wanted them to check out what they're doing. I know that they don't always have time, but I'm really glad they made time today.
Glad to have them.
Yeah.
Glad to have them. How confident are you with the pitching rotation, though?
I would like to see a. All right, there's two thoughts here, right? 2 thought processes. One, let me see what they got.
Okay.
I like the Peralta pickup. I think you give Peralta the ace. I was definitely going to get to that, JJ, 1,000%. I think that you let Peralta be the ace, though it was debatable to me because Senga had one heck of spring training, but he has also been hurt every year. So you want him to come in here feeling no pressure. Don't be the opening day. Almost the same thing with McLean. Right. But all right, look, dude, and I'm sure that's what they said to them. Hey, you're not last because you're worse. You're last because you're the anchor man. Right. We need you to, be, go into that next series and anchor it or be first. I'm not quite sure. Well, the Minai question was answered. That was my biggest question mark, to be honest. It was my biggest question mark. And we'll see if Holmes has a second year, because we have a very, very interesting pitcher on our staff named Tobias. First name Tobias.
Myers.
Yes. If any of these pitchers can't, if not minus Senga or even Senga, but like, all right, I'm confident enough, but I think they're going to have to pitch Senga at like a 5-inning limit for a while. I would, You know, I wouldn't overexpose him to, you know, unless he's really feeling that good. The way he's throwing, hitting 99, and then the ghost fork looked
Ghostly.
very ghostly. It just
Right.
disappeared.
Right.
I like that Tobias Myers is there because I think that he fits a perfect split game if necessary,
Right.
or having the Japanese pitcher where they traditionally need a 6-man rotation, having him there in case Senga says, you know, I'm getting a little tired, or you
Right.
know, something like that, as well as uh I always want, not Griffin Cannon, the other one. Uh, no, our fourth pitcher,
Clay Holmes.
Clay Holmes. Yeah, Clay Holmes being a traditional bullpen guy who was able to pull off an excellent year last year.
Right.
I think that is very important. But I agree with JJ. I think Sanga, what Sanga does this year will determine a lot of things for us. But
Right.
that could be said also by a lot of pitchers. But Sanga is important, very, very important.
One of the things I wanted to mention to you, it was my secret. It was my secret Pac-Man pellet question. Right. For those that remember Pac-Man. Anybody in the chat old enough to remember Pac-Man? Remember you used to get the power up pellet? But
Pac-Man, of course, I love Pac-Man. My sister had the actual one in her house. Yeah,
bro,
I don't know
what
if she does. But
here's my power pellet question. What if Senga is healthy and you have a 5-1 turnaround of Senga as a former ace and Peralta as a current ace? So you would like ideally this is ideally everyone, this is what you'd like. Tuesdays, Freddie Peralta, Sundays, Freddie Peralta, right? Wednesdays and Mondays, you'd like to have your whatever pitcher, right?
yeah,
Thursdays and whatever, you'd have like to have your number 3, and so on and so forth.
yeah.
Right. Or I think most of the time you'll get a Thursday off. So you'll get a Thursday off. So nobody in that Thursday spot, because it's mostly you're going to get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Right. A lot of times. And sometimes that'll move. But basically you're looking, most teams get like 1 day off per week, usually a travel day. Right.
Quick question: everybody has off tomorrow, right? Is it? Is that how baseball does it?
Yeah, I think so. Like everybody fly back. I think they'll be in their home city. You know what I'm saying? Getting ready for opening day is what, Tuesday?
Thursday.
Thursday.
Opening day in general. Opening day for the Mets is Thursday. There might be a game prior to that.
Okay.
I'm not sure of, but
maybe Wednesday. Maybe Wednesday is opening.
Yeah, there might be like a blue Dodger game, or something like that.
Some high profile team somewhere. Yeah.
Right.
I think it's Yankees Giants or something. I can't remember. But
that sounds about right. What you just said. I think I heard. That's what I heard too.
Yeah, and so what I'm getting at though is the wraparound where Senga is your starting pitcher on, say, the Wednesday night high profile game, and then you flip the thing around. That was Friday. Now you have Freddie Peralta versus whoever the Dodgers ace is, right? And so you want to kind of have your. I think the Mets is basically what I'm saying is I think the Mets are going to win the World Series if Carlos Mendoza can find a way to get a brain trust in the dugout. That's where I am with it. right? Because
Yeah,
I think
I
the
don't
roster is
disagree.
set. Because here's the thing, Woody, the only thing we feel like we're lacking because it's unproven is a bona fide 40 home run guy, right? But how can we
Yeah,
say that when we have Juan Soto? Is
right.
Juan Soto not a bona fide 40 home run guy?
No, we're greedy
Bro,
because
how
we
can yeah,
because we had another one that hit, but we, we're greedy because we had to, and also people forget. Look, sometimes we forget because he's so smiley and he does all the other things that that Lindor is a 30, 35 home run hitting guy. So it is very when we had Soto and Pete back to back, as no matter what, I think we just got greedy and we were like, all right, this is the normal thing. But we definitely have a bunch of 20, 25 home run hitting people. A bunch.
I
Which
think
I
we
much
have.
rather have than 240 home run hitting guys, 120 home run hitting person, and the rest of the guys maybe scrape out 10. I much rather have this.
I think the target for this team should be 220 home runs, right? We're not going to be the 2022 Twins like 300 and like we're not going to hit 900 home runs, right? Like
Yeah.
one year the Twins and Yankees both had like 307 home runs. It's crazy. We're not gonna be that because we don't have a guy that is going to be capable of hitting 65 home runs. We don't have that guy. Now, what we do have though is we have four guys capable of hitting 140 home runs between them, right?
Yep.
We have
Yep.
four guys that can get you 140 home runs,
Yep.
right? Now, between 21 other position players, 21 other position players, can we get 80 home runs?
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm
100%.
sorry, not 21 other position players. I'm sorry. Now, between 8 other position players, can we get 80 home runs? I'm sorry, I did that. My math was wrong.
That's all
Right?
right. Either way, it
Right.
was
Can
yes, we could
Alvarez,
get it.
right? Can Alvarez, Beatty, Polanco,
Robert,
Robert, Simeon,
yes.
and the guys on the bench, can they get 80 home runs?
Benj or
Yeah,
Talkman. Yeah.
yeah,
I the answer is yes. 100% yes.
because
I think that we're not going to drop in home runs because I think we actually look. What did we have last year? We had Soto with 42, 3.
yeah, something like that.
Right. All right. Pete with 37. I'm guessing Lindor was third
Right.
with 30,
32.
32. All right.
Yeah.
And then Nimmo with 25. Is
Yeah.
anybody in between him?
No, but we had a bunch of 18s like Beatty,
Right.
Vientos. Alvarez only played 62 games, something, 64 games.
Right. He had like 12 or
Yeah.
13,
Yeah.
11, 10, 12, 13.
Yeah.
And right. So that's it. So 40, 42, 37. Right. All right. That's 77, 25. We're talking 102.
Yeah. That's between three guys,
And
right?
that's only 3 guys.
Did you add Bo Bichette?
No, I was doing what they had last year
Okay.
because I actually think we could exceed what they had last year
Right.
by a decent number.
Because here's the thing, man. This is and chat. This is one of the things that when I talk baseball with everybody, sometimes the nuance of it is misunderstood. What I'm saying to everyone is that a lineup of a bunch of guys that can take you deep is more feared than having one guy that can hit a baseball a country mile. Right? Like your one guy
100%.
that can hit a baseball a country mile, a pitcher is going to make a mistake and he's going to hit that ball all the way to Nantucket. Right? And that's going to happen. And that's going to happen about 25 times a year. Right? Your Pete Alonso is going to hit a mistake all the way to the airport. Right? He's gonna hit a baseball all the way to Kennedy, right? But then the other 17, 16, 15, 16, 17 other home runs, he's just gonna get a great pitch and hit it the other way, hit it straight to center, just off pure muscle. Just being a big, strong dude. Right. And so what I'm saying is this. Lindor's on third, Soto's on first. You're facing Bichette. You know a ball in the dirt is going to score Lindor, right?
Yep.
And though you want to throw a ball low in the zone to get to induce the double play because Soto's on first, you can't risk throwing the ball too low, right? So now you have to be fine around the zone, right? And so if you elevate that ball in the strike zone, Bo Bichette had the highest batting average with runners on base in baseball last year. So if you're fine around the zone and missed by a millimeter, he's going to get a hit, right?
Yeah, 100%.
But
2 years straight. Yep.
If you're fine around the zone and miss and walk Bo Bichette, now the bases are loaded and you're facing Jorge Polanco,
who has been golf like teeing off. Hit one from the left-hand side, 440. Hit one from the right-hand side, 440.
Right. And that's the thing I'm saying. Like where historically our power hitters will bat about. Recently, our power hitters will bat about 240, 250 with about 40 home runs. Traditionally, they bat about 260 with about 40 home runs. But getting hits nowadays is not as important as hitting for power. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And so the thing is, so to my chat, to my baseball fans, to my purists out there, what you want is the best pitchers in Major League Baseball to have to throw fastballs down the middle of the plate to this lineup. That's what you want.
Right.
You don't want them throwing sweepers or change-ups or waste pitches, or you want them to have to throw fastballs in the zone to Lindor, to Soto, to Bichette, to Polanco, to Alvarez, to Beatty, to Simeon, to Robert. Like, you want them to have to throw fastballs in the zone to these guys. And how you do that is by having, instead of having, I'll give an example. There were years where the Oakland A's, I won't even use the Oakland A's. There were years where Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire were hitting 65-something home runs. Sammy Sosa is the only Major League player to have, I think, 4 years of 60 home runs.
It was him, yeah.
And the Cubs ain't won nothing. Right? Meanwhile, a team built like our team is built like the mid-90s Cleveland Indians. Now, they didn't win anything either, but they went to the World Series twice.
They sure did. That 95
and 97
and 97 Braves and the Marlins, right?
The Marlins. Right. I think the Mets have put together a lineup like the old school Cleveland Indians, where you have your Albert Bell, your Manny Ramirez, your Jim Thome, your Robbie Alomar, right? Your Sandy Alomar, right? Your Paul Sorrento, your Kenny Lofton, right? Like a lineup that's stacked 1 through 9, where any mistake to any guy Like back in the day.
Albert Bell's on there. Oh,
Yeah. It's like, so while we don't have the 50 home run guy, at least we don't think we have that guy. Now we
we
may
don't
wind up
know.
with
We
that
don't
guy.
know that. Yeah, we don't know yet.
Yeah, because we might wind up with that guy because of circumstances. Like,
Yep.
if Lindor is always on base because the fear of Soto behind him, right? Now you got to pitch to Lindor because you don't want Lindor on base, because even though Juan Soto has at times the propensity to pull off pitches and hit ground balls, you still don't want Lindor on first base because you think you might get a ground ball double play and he might steal second. Now what do you do?
Right.
Now what do you do? Lindor is on second and it's a 2-1 count to Soto. Right? Do you throw him a ball and go 3-1 to Soto? No, you got to throw him a strike. And even if you nibble and miss, it's 3-1 to Soto. Now, do you just throw a waste pitch to get to Dante Bichette with runners on first and second?
And you can't do a waste pitch against the 2-year in a row best wrist. I hate use. I'm really not big on all the wars and all that stuff, but having the guy who has the best average with runners in scoring position behind the two guys who are going to constantly be on base sounds bananas to me. And he can hit 25 home runs. It's bananas. And he can hit 25. And Polanco might show up and hit way more than we're looking at. And what if, by the way, we have Robert, who once got almost 40, and I think was having a really, really rough time being on a team
with no protection.
That people don't talk about this part enough yet. Ready? That had a young man named Tim Anderson that was supposed to be the next it, and kept doing silly little things,
right?
And went from hitting a bunch of home runs, protection with Eloy Jimenez and another dude, and
Yamamoto, the prospect Yamamoto, they got in the Chris Sale trade,
right? And Mikado, and they all pooped the bed.
Yeah.
Boom. Boom. So when you have that, and then you come here, and you're like, wait, I know Simeon is Gold Glove, but didn't he just have 40 something 2 years ago?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's another. I think we have a lineup with at least 1, 2, 3, 30 home run hitters. When I say 30, I mean 30 and above. So Soto with 40 something. And I think maybe we have another one. And I think everybody else is good for 20 plus.
Let me throw one other thing out there. I just want to. This is for my friend JJ. JJ, here's the kicker to all of that though. So this is from my friend JJ. Here's the kicker to that. That pitcher in that situation can't even do traditional stuff to hold runners on. Like now you can't even really throw to first with the risk of doing a balk. And with Lindor or Soto on a base pass, you can't even pitch out because you don't want to give a ball to Soto, Bichette, or Polanco. What if you pitch out? What if it's 1-0 and you do a pitch out? Now it's 2-0. Just to hold the runner on first on? Are you going to risk going 2-0 to Juan Soto just to keep Francisco Lindor close at first? Stop him from stealing. Like all this game within the game stuff is what makes the Mets lineup dangerous.
Oh.
Jay, that's the thing. Now, here's Go
I'm
ahead, bro.
just
You were
reading.
cooking. I just want to throw that in there. You were cooking, bro.
No. It's good. I was just reading some of these comments that you're right. Lewis Robert is a specimen. Did you see him moving? I mean, oh my God. All
Bro,
right.
that's
Hold
probably
on.
your
Let me come back
secondary.
and yeah, you know what? That might be the guy that we're talking about. I'm telling you that he was miserable, constantly. Let's not forget, constantly in trade talks.
We should have had him 2 years ago, to be honest. But
Right.
that's neither here nor there. So,
Yeah. Right. I should have been 180 pounds 2 years ago.
yeah, me too.
Yeah. You know, I
I
keep
am
trying to.
297 though, everybody. So
Got down. All
yeah.
right.
I got down 13 pounds, but the thing is I got down 20 pounds and then gained 7 of them back.
Well, I have this trick where I play hide and seek with my weight. Right, I lose it, but I somehow find it.
Find it, yep.
Yeah,
Especially around the holidays.
It's really horrible. It's not a good. I hate the game, but it's like my body likes the game. I don't know why. I think he's going to surprise us. And also, by the way, getting back to your, yeah, he's definitely going to, David. No doubt about it. I feel it. And I think Bichette, with that contract that he got and the way it is, and the fact that he's on a new team, and I really think like that, I think that you're going to see Peralta with the smile. To me, Peralta's the Lindor of the pitchers, right? He's the smiley, happy guy who's going to make everybody else. It's going to be infectious like that. And we're going to have, I think, a big part of that wonderful 24 run was the OMG fun, loose, everybody hitting. Because I got to be honest, if we have a guy that hits 40 and we have 2 guys or 3 guys who hit 30, all that's great. And if everybody hit 20 plus and we got to the 220 number, whatever it is, small ball, by the way, is how we lost the World Series in 2015 by not playing it. So we can't rely on everything being a home run. We have a team filled with people who could run. You're going to see a lot of hit and runs, a lot of sacrifices, right? You're going to see a lot of stolen bases this year, a lot of stolen bases. I'm telling you. And what he taught Soto and what he taught Nimmo more and what he taught, talking about Richardson, what he taught, that stuff didn't get lost in their mind. Like, and if it did, all they need to do is just ask Soto, ask whoever what was the key. I couldn't believe. I was talking to JJ recently. I couldn't believe these pitchers weren't picking people up. They were just walking casually, like they were like taking a stroll, and then take off. By the time the guy pitched it, they were standing on second.
Right.
So I think that we're looking at a team where everybody is 20 plus and they're stealing bags. I think we're looking at a special team, real special team. And I didn't realize just how special it was because I thought Polanco was an emergency move. I thought Bichette was a one because of Soto, because of Tucker and Bellinger. And now I think it was more deliberate because we could have easily went out there and got a Christian Walker who hits 220, strikes out 200 times a year, steals nothing, but will get you 35 plus home runs.
But what he does too, though, is he gets you outs.
Too many.
Yeah, like no, I mean defensively, he'll steal you outs, right? Like foul
good
ball hit
defense.
up the right field line, he will go up that right field line and catch that foul ball, right? Like he does stuff like that that doesn't really like in the scorebook, it'll be a circle three, but then when you look back at the game, it'll be a play where he got a great jump off the bat and ran up the right field line, called off the right fielder, and caught a foul ball. And now
might be in the top 10 plays of the week. Yeah,
right,
I get
right,
it. No,
right.
I totally get it.
Right, and so instead of it being runner on second with 1 out, it's runner on second with 2 outs. Right now, the whole way you defend the game, now you can shift your defense to just get the batter out. Right now, you're worried about just getting the batter to hit a soft ground ball somewhere so we can get out of this inning. And for that reason, I think Pete Alonso is gone. Like, no knock on Pete, because Pete should probably have had that number 20 retired here. But Pete wouldn't DH. Can you play first base 100 games and DH 60 games? He was not compromising.
Yeah, he was.
We want you to be. We will give you the bag if you just compromise, bro. You want to play 162 games at first, bro. You're not Keith Hernandez, bro. Now, mind you, Keith Hernandez didn't have Pete Alonso power either. But bro, Keith Hernandez, I mean, you're not Tino Martinez with the glove, bro.
But even so, he had 9 straight. Right, you're not that guy. He had 9 or 11 straight Gold Gloves. He's not him. No,
bro, compromise, man.
Yeah,
the Mets would have gave you the bag if you, bro.
That's it. By the way, if David's still there, that is the real reason why he's not here.
That's the reason. It's not like people hate Peter. Mets fans love Pete Alonso, bro.
I still am rooting for him. He does nothing for us,
right?
Unless we face him somewhere down the line, which we will down this year. I found out.
Yeah. And I'll go see him in Baltimore too. I'll travel to Baltimore to see him a couple of times.
Yeah, maybe I might meet him. Who knows? It's only JJ. It's only about 4 hours, 4.5 hours, maybe.
It's about 6. Bro, I bought a truck, bro.
Yeah. Did you? Congratulations! Yeah, I forgot my parents.
I bought a Ram 1500, black rims, black tinted windows, black leather inside. Inside looks like a spaceship, bro.
Really?
Inside looks like a spaceship, bro. And
a pickup?
Yeah, it's a pickup truck. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's bro. Inside, man, memory seats, like remember driver 1, sets for driver 2, right? All this stuff, man, is but yeah, man, I'll go see.
Work hard, play hard, brother.
You need to tell my boss that shit. Tell my boss.
I can give me his number.
Yeah, I'm gonna get him on the phone. I'm gonna get him on the phone and have him talk to you, bro. Because
don't give it to my mother because
bro.
You give it to my mother. Definitely have it tomorrow.
Yeah, like get off my man back.
Yo, do you know what he does? And then he gives about 2 hours of great Mets content,
bro. Yeah.
No, it's well, congratulations. Here's to you and your new truck. May you have many adventures safely
to Baltimore to see Pete Alonso,
right, and to New York to see me and the Queens, and we'll hit a game. And may God bless you in it and your family.
Thank you.
And you're welcome.
And so the thing is I had an older car. It was a 2015 SUV. I'm a big guy, so I need a big, something big, man, because
Right.
I'm a big guy, 300-pounder that has knee trouble, hip trouble a little bit. You know what I'm saying? A little something. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Eyes, ears, knees, and toes.
Yeah, head, shoulders, knees and toes,
Knees,
knees and
toes,
toes.
knees, toes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick before I have to get out of here, bro, I have to ask you a question.
All right. Man, I'm mad on this.
I have a prediction for you, and I want to give you some time to think about it. Right? Here's my request from you, and I know I'm putting you on a spot, so I want to give you some time to think about it because it wouldn't be fair otherwise. Right?
Okay.
All right. So I want you to give me the prediction for what you think Carson Bench's 2026 is going to be like, and while you think about that, I'm going to tell you what I think Francisco Alvarez's 2026 is going to be like.
I know it. I can only imagine. I can imagine what you're going to tell me.
I'm about to jump all the way out the window, right?
Yeah. So somebody hold his shoelaces, please. At least.
Yeah, I think Francisco Alvarez is going to bat 290 and hit you 47 home runs, right? I think he's going to drive in about 130 RBIs, right? I think he's going to be 290, 47, and about 140 RBIs. Now, here's the reason why I say that. For most position players, there's usually a time that they click. Like if they play the same position every day, if they have the same routine, say if you bring up a young third baseman, he plays third every day, gets in the routine, he's an everyday third baseman, he'll bat 240, maybe 18 home runs, and then 255, maybe 25 home runs, and then in year 3, probably 263-ish, knocking on 30 home runs, maybe driving 100 RBIs, depending on what the lineup is around him, right? Catchers, though, usually take more time to develop offensively because they have to juggle a pitching staff, get their bats in and at bats in the cage, and also take care of their body. Because unlike a right fielder who may touch the baseball 3 times a game, right? Your catcher is in a squatted position most of the game, right? With sharp mental focus. He's dialed in, right? The pitcher is dialed in every pitch. The catcher is dialed in every pitch. Like there could be 50,000 people cheering and they can't hear nothing because they're focused on, the catcher is focused on a projectile headed at him at 100 miles per hour, right? And then somebody has a bat that they might swing 90 miles per hour and barely miss it and foul tip that thing off the bat straight into this dude nuts, right? Or straight off his ankle bone. If anybody in here has ever been hit on an ankle bone or directly on a kneecap,
yep.
These dudes legit have to take care of their body, take care of the pitching staff, get their swings in, stay healthy, right? I think
constantly getting hit by the bat, the bat coming back, hitting them. Yep.
Bro, out running up the first base line after a ground ball. Like catchers legit have a lot of stuff to do. But at a certain age, normally catchers, it clicks for them. Like everything comes together. I think Alvarez is at that age where the game will slow down. He feels like he's in control of the game, control the running game, keep his body. The only thing I would say for this young player, if he got his diet right in the offseason, if he comes into this season stronger and things of that sort, like no stupid fast food. You know how young people eat, bro. Young people eat like a trash compactor, right? Like they'll eat Wendy's in the middle of the night. They'll eat M&M's for breakfast and all of that, right?
With the rest of the Wendy's.
Yeah. If Francisco Alvarez has taken care of his body this offseason, right? Eat leafy greens, get proper sleep, all those things, then I think my guy is going to be the National League Comeback Player of the Year, followed closely by Luis Robert, who will be in the race for Comeback Player of the Year. That's my prediction on Alvarez.
And also with Robert being in the race for a golden.
Right. But you know how they get there too, though? How they get there too is the lineup is stacked. Now, these guys don't have to be like every at bat doesn't have to be a high leverage at bat for them. Every at bat for them now is just be productive. See, that's what happened to Vientos last year. Vientos last year in 2024, he was a low leverage bat that produced in big moments.
Yep.
In 2025, they forced that kid into being a high leverage bat, and he wasn't ready.
Right.
Right.
And but I think it was also mostly Vientos was told, you're hitting 30 home runs. You're hitting fifth. You're hitting 30 home runs and 100 RBIs.
Right.
You got to. You have to.
You have to. Yeah. Yeah.
And when you do that to somebody, that's why I think that Robert is going to be revitalized. I think he's going to be amazing.
Right.
You know, and I know that, you know, I'm not here to tell anybody how to talk or feel, but you know, we aim to make this Mess Lounge a positive, exciting place that is very realistic but exciting. And
Right.
I don't and that brings you know, that Mets happiness that we had just 2 years ago. I was ecstatic. Like, even though we didn't have the best total year, we had a year that I was like on the phone every single day with somebody. Can you see that? Can you believe that? You know that? You know, like, so, like, you know, I'm hoping that we bring you guys, you know, a bunch of positive feelings and stuff like that. I think that if he hits what JJ said or what you said, I think I still comeback player of the year. Anywhere between those two things is the same thing.
How they get
bench,
there though is our lineup is gonna make pitchers throw fastballs.
period. Because the next guy is gonna be a threat.
Yep. They gotta throw. If teams have to throw us fastballs, the easiest pitch to hit in baseball, believe it or not, is the fastball. Regardless how hard you throw it, it's still in a straight line.
That's right. Especially if you got some torque on your swing.
Yeah.
The quicker the bat gets to the ball, the quicker that thing leaves the yard.
Yeah.
So I'm going to answer your question, and we're going to call it.
Okay.
I expect Benj to settle in. I think Benj is going to. I think he's going to follow suit. I think a good year for him is 275. $20 home runs, 65 RBIs, 20 stolen bases. That's if. Oh, then he's definitely coming. That's unfortunate though, because I really expected him to be a power.
Yeah.
A power bat off the bench. But don't let me get sidetracked, because anything does. I think that's his numbers because of where he is in the role, in the scheme of things. I think that it's going to be an very infectious lineup of people doing. So he's not going to hit ninth. He's going to hit eighth, I believe.
You want a veteran batting ninth. You want a veteran that can get on base batting ninth.
100%. That's what I was thinking. 100%.
I would even toss around the idea of Brett Beatty batting ninth.
I think that's exactly who it's going to be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would, because I want somebody that's a threat in front of Lindor, somebody that can run.
Lindor, Soto, Bichette, Alvarez, or Polanco, Alvarez, whatever they decide. Then you're gonna have Robert,
Simeon.
who Simeon. Yep, exactly. Simeon, Benj, Beatty.
Okay.
Woo! And I think that he's going to catch a good people. Look, man, hitting 275 is a good average.
That's great.
That's an amazing average.
That's 150 hits.
Yeah, if he hits 250, I'd be very proud of him.
Okay, so that's about 255,
Right,
258, somewhere in there. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking he's going to hit 265 to about 265 to 275.
But you think he's 2020 off rip? He's a 2020 guy off rip, first day of majors.
If he's not, then he's somewhere maybe 16 and 22 or 16 and 17, whatever it is, he's close to it.
Okay.
If we get 16 and 17 out of him, you happy with that?
Hey man, I'm happy with what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with what
Let's
you
say
said.
there.
I'm
Let's
not
say there.
judging. I'm not
Yeah.
judging what you're saying, man. I'm absolutely with it. I'm just saying man, if you say he's 275, bro, he's an all-star.
Yeah, he might be right. But I don't want to do this because what I do with the Giants every time I do it with my son's old coach.
Scannable's gonna run for 3,000 yards.
Right, every year, man. We're 6-2. When before they went to the thing, we were 16-0. All right, let's take out the lineups. All right, so this game, what's the weather gonna be like? All right, win. What do you got for that? Yeah, okay, win. Okay, what do you got for that? I'm telling you right now. Let me tell you, we go undefeated as a Mets this year.
Every I'm the same way.
Every year.
I'm gonna say this though. I'm gonna put a rock in your shoe, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it like trollingly and respectfully at the same time.
I'm here. I'm here.
I'm giving Carson Bench till July. If he's batting 220 something until July, I don't know if I'm giving him the rest of the season because I really like this kid the Mets have in the minors, bro. They have this outfielder in the minors, bro, that runs like the wind, bro. I like Carson Bench. Y'all know I like Carson Bench, right? I like Carson. I think he's the future. He's the right fielder of the future, right?
Does he wear number 33?
Man, if he wears 33, I'm getting his name tattooed on my chest.
I think he's going to be the future leader. I think he's coming here this year. Who do you lose if everybody else is doing what we say they're going to be doing?
Tyrone Taylor.
Yeah, but then
you what do you do with Tyrone Taylor?
Yeah, no, and I'm okay with that. But I'm just saying to you, and it wouldn't be for me, Tyrone Taylor. It would be Talkman.
Well, either one.
Once he got healthy, because Talkman is exactly what he is. He's a guy who could get a hold of one and play decent defense, and Taylor is a Gold Glove defender.
Yeah.
I'm much, even though we might need the guy to hit that home run. Who would you rather have out there in the ninth inning, or whatever it might be, in case whatever?
I would. No disrespect to Tyrone Taylor, I'd much prefer Carson Bench, because Carson Bench has something that you can't teach.
Are you
Carson
talking about
Bench.
for Ewing being out there and Carson Bench? Oh, I hear you. I hear you.
In terms of Taylor. Now, in terms of Taylor, I think Taylor's defense is great. I think Benj's upside as a defender is something you can't quantify. Right? Right. You can't some things are just God given. Like this dude Carson Bench having a major league pitcher's arm on his right shoulder, right? That ball in the corner and somebody's thinking about going to third, and that dude lets loose a laser from the right field corner to third base. That's where run prevention is. Like you stop that dude on second base from going to third, right?
Yeah.
Now the batter at the plate, a pass ball doesn't score a run. It just moves a dude to third. Right? Like if you're talking about run prevention just off basic baseball play, Tyrone Taylor will probably get to the ball faster off instincts because he has major league experience. But Carson Bench at the same age might be the best center fielder in baseball at the same age as Tyrone Taylor. Right? Like, and I'm not knocking Tyrone Taylor because I like him. I like I like the combination of him and Jose Siri, even though Siri played like crap last year.
Well,
But
and he wasn't he injured for the majority of the year?
yeah, Jose Siri missed a lot of time.
He missed a lot of time, so I'm not gonna. I
I'm
thought
not
they were going to be a great combo of eighth, ninth inning defensive, and then also hoping for Siri to catch a genie in the bottle. But look, we can't go back there,
right.
and it would be number 33, and I'm not
Blue and
gonna.
orange number 33, bro.
All right, unbelievable. A Ewing with a 33. Unbelievable.
Bro. But yeah, to that thing though, legit. I think Carson Bench is gonna be the right fielder of the moment and probably the center fielder of the future, depending on how things go with Luis Robert. Right? Like if Robert struggles a little bit, you really can't sign him to an extension because he's got to prove himself. Right? Because he could be a one-hit wonder. Right?
I think all of them are.
Right.
Do you not agree?
Yeah,
everybody we brought in are 2-year top people.
Right.
Period.
I agree with you. But since we were just talking about outfielders, though, I'm just saying that. But up and down the roster, yes, for sure. Right. Even Vientos and Beatty are like 1 or 2 year guys because you've given them enough time to do something. If they don't do something in the next 2 years, you got to get them out of here. Right? You can't have Reimer and Clifford and Ewing and all these guys, Morabito and all these guys. You can't have them sitting behind Vientos who hadn't done nothing.
Yeah, no, Vientos is gone. I have no idea how they're going to package this because he has completely like crushed his value.
Yeah.
And hurt the Mets at the same time doing it. But who knows, man? If Vientos, I don't know the answer to this. I forgot to look it up. Like I told you, waiting for you. I talked to you 20 minutes before it was supposed to go on, and I just started looking at things and think. And that was it. But I'm sorry.
50-year-old old man thing kicked in.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. I didn't want to bring it up. Where am I? Look. I looked at the clock. Who turned the lights off? Yeah. I looked at the thing. I said, "Oh my God, yo!"
Right.
Wait, what day is it? Yeah, It's crazy.
Right.
But yeah, I think I do bench for that. Um, um, hey David, listen, man. I think Uncle Steve is totally gonna be fine, and Uncle Stevie uh is not fully the only one pulling the strings. All right, he's got a father-in-law that is heavily involved in his
And it's
finances
loaded. And it's
and,
loaded.
and loaded. And a big reason why Stevie is and his wife and the wife and the father-in-law are mega Mets fans,
Yeah.
and there's this whole project of tearing down the garages and building things like that.
Yeah.
I think he's already proved to us that, because I'm gonna keep it real. No one, including Otani, is worth $800 million in baseball. That's almost what you know
That's more
what
than what the Pittsburgh Pirates are worth almost.
the whole state. I'm about to say that whole teams are worth that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying is like I really wouldn't. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm saying, Dave. Is I don't I wouldn't worry too much about that on a real note. It's Steve Cohen is by far the richest, and any news that you ever hear about him, you must take into the fact that the buying the Mets, he is. I don't know. I'm gonna name a few more things for David Smith, and also thank you for being here, David.
It's the
Is
Cohen
that
family, not just Steve Cohen.
right? It's a Cohen family slash whatever the maiden name
Yeah.
is. They are equally as rich, and they grew up in Great Neck, New York. All Mets fans. Um, Not too far from. I don't know if anybody's familiar with like Little Neck and all that side over there, Belrose. So they they're not worried about any of that stuff. I promise you this. He went after Tucker this year. He was going to pay Tucker the money.
Yeah.
The reason why he didn't, David, get Peter, because he asked Peter to play. He was, yep, Great Neck, Great Neck, right up there, North Shore. I forgot that you said you're from. Don't say it. You're from Hop Hog. Is that right? I think you said, David.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
not
from
sure if that
Inwood.
was Inwood, Li.
Queen. Yeah. Yeah. Basically. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's Long Island. It's 5 towns.
Yeah. Yeah.
My son played for the Inwood Raiders. Inwood
I'm
Buccaneers.
joking. I'm joking.
Buccaneers.
Hey, every
Uh,
couple of years or so, man, I used to go. My family, because my great my great grandmother used to work down at the I forget what she said, but basically Inwood area. She used to walk up the street to the train, catch the train to get home. But
yeah.
but most of my roots are my New York roots are the Bronx, New York. Right.
That's where I
Those are
was
my
born
roots.
there.
Right. But I'm from Jersey City. So it's like Jersey City. My grandfather used to drive the bus in the Bronx for like 40 years. So he retired. He retired in the Bronx. And I got cousins and stuff over there. Now they're my age. Now they're moving to Atlanta and Charlotte, getting out of the city, selling brownstones, trying to get
Yeah,
down
everybody
there.
is.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, but
I
I'm
think
glad.
I know a bunch of people doing that, man. So
Yeah, man, getting out to see the city is crazy.
yeah,
But you
Long
got
Island
anything
in the
else?
house. Anyway,
And so you got anything else before we wrap up? Get out of here.
Yeah, listen, I'm looking forward to that lineup. I hope everybody likes that lineup, man. Link, let's go Mets. You know, we got a great. I liked what you explained to me regarding the pitching. I hope everybody else took that in, absorbed it a little bit. Bench is not the Bench is going to have a great year. I think Ewing is going to be. I think Bench is going to be otherworldly eventually. Otherworldly.
Right.
And I think Ewing is going to be the same. Definitely. That's all it's about, David. That's all it's about, always. You know, and I love having these conversations, especially about baseball. So much, it's like very calm and exciting. We're rolling for the Mets, man. And Dave, there's a lot of stuff I'll catch you up on as far as like the ownership and the people and why they're making these moves. Me and Uncle Freeze will catch you up on that. Yeah, listen, let's just go. Lindor, Soto, Bichette, your 47 home run hitter, Polanco, Robert. Who do we say after Robert? We're going to have Simeon, and then we're going to have Benjamin Beatty. God dang, that sounds great. Off the bench, having Terens there makes me feel really great. We're talking about a Gold Glove catcher. That Talkman news is a little iffy. And when Minter comes back, but listen, we're gonna have many more shows, many more shows, and also look out for Shay It Loud. We've both been very busy, but I promise you that we will have many more shows.
Yeah, man.
And thank you for coming and hanging out with us. And thank you for being patient with me today.
Yeah. Saturday naps are awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you everybody for coming through. Hey, we're gonna wrap right here. We appreciate everybody that's coming through, supporting the channel, trying to grow it. We're just gonna infuse YouTube with the most knowledge and the most experience about baseball as we possibly can. We know there are other channels out there that are bigger than us. We just ask you to give us a few moments of your time so that we can talk the way that y'all like to have that talk to y'all. We're gonna get out of here, y'all. Thank you everybody for coming through.
Let's go Mets.